Hey guys, welcome to one more episode of our podcast, The Table Salt, here in YWAM, Virginia Beach. And today we have a special guest, Manuela Rios. And she's going to be telling a little bit of her life and testimony and what God is doing in her life right now. So, first thing you need to do, please subscribe to our channel. Share this content with a lot of people, with your friends, family, your dog, whatever, whoever you want to. And this is going to help us to amplify the channel and reach out the people that might be need a word today of a word of encouragement or just something that's going to help them to move on. So don't go anywhere, and we're going to be back very soon, right now. Guys, this is so cool. Well, today we have our special guest, Manuela, with us, and she's going to be sharing a little bit what God is doing in her life, her journey. And thank you so much for saying yes and coming to our podcast today. I wanted to just share with the people at home a little bit about your life, where you're from, where you're born, what you're doing right now. It's kind of like it doesn't need to be very short. Whatever you want to share, I think it'll be important for us to know you first.
Sure. So I was born in Colombia in 2002. I'm 20 years old. I moved here when I was 7 years old to Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
Totally different culture shock. As soon as I got there, totally different. Um, I was raised there. I started third grade in Connecticut.
With
I
no
went there.
English.
No English.
Oh wow.
No English at all. They didn't want me to join the ESL program because they wanted me to learn fast. So I
Okay.
was just thrown into only English speaking people. And it was very hard, but it helped me at the end of the day because
Mm.
I feel like I've learned um, faster and
Yeah.
better. Um, then I moved to Miami 4 years ago. And yeah, I've been there. I've go to college. I work there, and it's been good.
Wow.
It's been
And
good.
the importance of people to know there's so many like I did the same thing, like
Mhm.
not as young, but there's so many immigrants that are coming,
Mhm.
young to the States.
Right.
And after, a few years, becoming American citizens and just like having this nation as their own. And I think it's important to know people don't know the struggles that, the immigrants go through to be able to be here,
Mhm.
not only for another opportunity of life, but like the dream is to raise your kids
Mhm.
in a better place that you imagine. But
Right.
now how God also used that situation to bring this flavor to America, which is the Latin culture
Mhm.
of now. Because I believe now, for what we've been talking, you have like this, you're Colombian, but you have a heart for United States at the same time. You're like, it's kind of like hand in hand.
Yeah.
Explain, just tell us a little bit, like how was your I know it's like was hard for you learning English and
Mhm.
all of that in a different nation.
Mhm.
How's the dynamic for a teenager growing up, maybe jokes or being bullied or whatever in the school? Or how is that? Did you face anything of that, or how was that for you?
I did. Well, coming from Colombia, I ended third grade in Colombia,
Hmm.
and so I lived enough to see the struggles in Colombia. I didn't have a big house, or I didn't have
Mm.
like all the things that I have here. So I was obviously very thankful because I could see both sides. Like I was able to experience the life in Colombia, and then I was able to come here and experience the life here and see how many things that we take for granted.
Mm.
And going to school here, it was difficult because, like I said, I got here and I was thrown into only English speaking people.
Mm.
So, of course, I was bullied. At the beginning, I was bullied. It was hard. It made me think a lot about going back to Colombia,
Mm.
about does my dad have me here? Why did he bring me here? I don't want to be here. I want to go back. This is not fair. But yeah, I mean, growing up here, it is hard. I was used to going out and playing with kids and
Mm.
and just being excited to go back home because I was going to be able to do my homework and go out and play with kids and the normal things that we do back in Colombia.
Yeah.
And here it was like so depressive. Like, especially in Connecticut, there is winter like almost year long. You only have like 3 months of summer. So you're basically at home all those months, like 8 months out of the whole year. And you're not doing anything. You're not interacting with any other kids. You're not going out except for your brothers.
Mm.
And yeah, you're not interacting with any other person. So it's very hard to not be so stuck on like electronics. Like that's all
Hmm.
you had. So yeah, I mean, it was definitely hard growing up here like missing that part. Like,
Mm.
you don't know, you don't miss what you haven't, experienced or
Yeah.
had. And I definitely missed Colombia because I was like, oh my god, I'm stuck here. Like I can't go out and like go knock on my neighbor's door and
Yep.
be like, let's go
Exactly.
out and play. No,
Yeah.
like they will look at me like, oh my god, this crazy girl. So that definitely hit me.
It's a different, like the culture is so extreme because like in again like in Brazil is the same thing. You just
Hmm.
go, there's a lot of kids playing in the streets and you're sitting down in a corner in a bench and in the
Hmm.
park, and there's always people doing something. It's
Yeah.
like always that, you know. But that's how we grew up. Like you
Hmm.
grew up with those activities and not agitation but kind of like the life. And then you come here, I see the two good sides, you
Hmm.
know, of the being on learning things. Like no, it's amazing, we do everything, even the podcast, like the electronic devices
Hmm.
actually, it helps you
Yeah.
to reach out, but at the same time we're missing the connection, we're missing
Hmm.
the
Yeah,
relationship
definitely.
with our friends,
Hmm.
and that's, I think, for us the Latin culture, we miss that the most.
Yeah.
And we can see people look at us across because we're like, you know, like you say, knocking somebody's door and people are like, what are you doing here? And like, why?
Yeah.
It's kind of like my space you're
Hmm.
invading, you know?
Yeah.
But for us, it's like, no, we want to interact. We
Hmm.
want to, you know, uh, have friends. We want to enjoy life. I don't want to be stuck in, you know, in the house the whole time.
Hmm.
And, but I believe, I think with one of our first episodes here, we talked to a guy from Brazil and he was explaining that, and was the same thing that I believe. I really believe, and I can be, guys, I can be naive, you know, in believing there, or maybe mistaken, but I really believe the God is going to use the Latin culture in the United States to bring a revival to America
Right.
because of the interaction and the
Hmm.
passion, the fire, the you know, excitement that we carry, and it's an our, you know. But now, like I have kids, you know, my kids, we're calling, like, you know, I'm calling the third culture,
Hmm.
and they are like, they carry both. They
Hmm.
know you know, all of, we're talking the technology or that thing in the home and my space, and but at the same time they're like, I really don't want to be there.
Yeah.
And now we see this generation now, like you, like you're 20,
Hmm.
um we see this, you know, between maybe 16 to 25 or even more. We, now that we interact with young people more, we see that they are craving for relationship.
Yeah.
They don't want to be inside.
Hmm.
That's why like the hiking, outdoors sports is
Hmm.
getting like, is the cycle is going back to,
Hmm.
because people can't handle it anymore. And so many, like you say, depression, suicidal, all of that is like,
Yes.
you know, they want to come out, you know.
Hmm.
How do you feel like um, understanding that God is going to use your generation to bring this revival to the United States? Do you see this or no?
I definitely see it.
Mm.
We actually went to a trailer park, I think 2 weeks ago,
Mhm.
and majority of the people that lived in this trailer park were Latin American,
Mm.
and a lot of our group speak Spanish, and so it was very great being able to reach those people. And it was funny because the other people from our group, which are from here, the United States, they grew up here and this is their culture, and they were very surprised that the Hispanic people, the Latin American people, were so inviting.
Mm.
Like they were like, "Yeah, come in." They didn't know what we were gonna do, what we were gonna talk to them about, but they were like, "Yes, come in, have some food, like sit down." And they were so inviting,
Mm.
and I feel like um, proud almost of my culture for being so open to receiving those people. And I know that having that experience, it's like, whoa, like this is so new to me.
Mm.
Like we're gonna help those people that don't want to get out of their comfort zone to get out and be able to reach other people the same way. Like,
Mm,
oh my God, I like that. You know what? They were very inviting. They were very nice. Let me continue to act
mm,
like them or do the same thing that they're doing.
yeah.
So I definitely do see it. I see it in this group because at the beginning, it was a culture shock to other kids in the same group, and we were just starting to get to know each other. And now it's like they do things that we do usually, like get together. You know, they want their personal space, but they also want to spend that time together, talk to
Mm-hmm.
each other, and it's very cool to see that. Like one of the kids like didn't he just wanted to be alone all the time, and now he just wants to interact, he just
Yeah.
wants to be with everyone. And
So
that's
good.
cool that we're able to bring that, you know, into even young people that are
Mm,
able to see that. Like you can see right now, like most of the people that live here want to go and visit those countries that have
mm,
culture, they crave the interaction, they crave the people, the welcoming people.
mm,
And I feel like that could be a big impact on the people here in the US,
mm.
you know? And if we can bring that much impact, let's say food wise, the way we dress, the way we speak, the way we welcome people, we can also use the gospel and be able to, hey, come into my house, have some coffee, let's talk about the love of God, you know,
Mm.
like this is, and they're open to that. They're open to know more. So it's very cool that we're able to use that.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody maybe few months ago,
Hmm.
and this guy is an American guy. He told me he's not a missionary, he's like a businessman, and
Hmm.
he told me he believes that in very short time,
Hmm.
like maybe 5 years, Spanish is gonna be the second language
Hmm.
in the United States.
Yeah.
And then I was like, what? Nah, I don't think so. He's like, it's like Faucher, call like a hospital, call an insurance company, call whatever. Now we have the option for Spanish, press one. And you're like, what? You know, you didn't have that before.
Hmm.
But more companies now see the need of adapting and understanding and accepting, say, hey, you know what? We are becoming uh, a Spanish speaking, culture
Yeah.
everywhere we go.
Hmm.
Not only for the hard work that the Latin culture brings to the United States, that I think is amazing. They do it. They come,
Yeah.
they do work, that's it. And I feel like this is like it's changing of even the American people accepting that. They're kind of like it's changing now than before, like 5 years ago. And now I see that change coming. They're more like open to yeah, understand that,
Hmm.
like kind of receive. For sure, I have, the I don't want to be political
Hmm.
and bring anything, but I see something
Hmm.
that I can be wrong,
Yeah.
but I see something on even like people coming or Latin culture coming to the United States
Hmm.
as a, I think once America kind of like say yes to abortion or
Hmm.
all of that, and I feel like God is like the promise that God had to multiplying and is coming in a different way,
Hmm.
and I see like I didn't plan to, have my kids moving to the States, becoming American citizen. My
Hmm.
daughter is American, and but I see now is like the promise that God has for the land, it remains. He's faithful.
Hmm.
And if the American people say, oh, we're not going to have kids anymore, God is going to find a way to bring you and me, you
Right.
understand,
Hmm.
to the United States to fulfill the promise, which is to multiply, to have a generation that love the Lord, that preach the gospel, that have
Hmm.
this passion for the scriptures. And I
Yeah.
see like in you, like you have that passion, you have the ideas, and you're very strong,
Hmm.
like your opinion, what the way you see things. But I feel like I see God like using this to kind of like come across and using the two, the American idea, you have the understanding, but the Latin passion as well, which is like an organized fire.
Hmm.
It's like you have the passion, but you also are organized and to see like, okay, there's seasons for this, there's
Hmm.
time for this, and I see that God is going to be using more like your generation now than ever before to bring that, the gospel and the passion for the Lord
Hmm.
um, into those places like you just shared. I think this is the trailer park is one of the places that we've been talking about, like really
Yeah.
going back and every, I think I think we're
Yeah.
gonna go back there, and that we want to invest in a long term relationship with those kids because we
Right.
believe if we need to take this opportunity to invest in a relationship with them, get to know them, disciple them, and see the fruits in the future. So I agree with you. I think that's like amazing. You are, being part of our discipleship training school
Mhm.
on this semester. Going to Brazil for outreach for 2 months soon.
Mhm.
How was your decision? Like, how about DTS? Like, how do you come? Like, how do your idea and passion about missions, how that came across? Like, because you moved to Miami, you were living there, you were working.
Right.
How does that everything happen? Just tell us a little bit.
Okay. Well, I actually didn't plan to come here. I didn't want to come here. I wanted to look for something just like this, like mercy work,
Mm-hmm.
but without the God part. And I came here kind of as of desperation, as an escape of just not knowing what to do with my life anymore. Feeling very lost, and um I took this decision to come here. Well, my aunt was actually the one that told me, like, look, I know what you're going through. You need to stop. You need to stop with your life right now and focus on what you really need to focus on. And well, now I know that is God. But she offered to pay everything for me to come here
Oh.
and even continue to pay my car back home. And I just felt, she just told me, I offer you this. She literally put it on the table. She said, this is what I offer you. I'm not forcing you to go. I'm not pushing you to go. I'm just telling you, this is what I have to offer. And I'm obeying God,
Mm.
in telling you all of this. And at the time, I was rebellious. I didn't want to hear that. That just got me mad because I was like, I didn't want to know anything about
Mm.
God because of everything that was going on in my life at the time. And I don't know what it was. Now I know that it's God. At that time I didn't know. But I was I was very proud of what I was doing back home. Like, I have my car, I have my good job, I'm doing very well. Like, I'm good here. I'm going to the gym, I'm doing all these things. Like, I'm fine with my routine. But really, I was falling apart. I was completely lost.
Mm.
So I just feel like my aunt was like an angel,
Mm.
that was like, she just, who does that? That's
Mm.
crazy. Like, who just comes to you and tells you, I'll pay everything and I'll continue to pay your car and just go. So
Mm.
to me, that was like, whoa, at the time, no. But then I thought about it and I don't know where I was like, yes, I'm going to leave everything. That's fine. I'm going to go. So I decided to come. I didn't have any expectations. I didn't even look up why one Virginia. I actually applied to Costa Rica first, San Jose, and they never replied. But now I know God wanted me to come here. And it's been a great experience. I didn't come with any expectations. Like I said, I didn't want to see where I was going to stay, where I was going to sleep, where I was going to be. I just didn't want anything, to know anything. And once I got here, like, I thought it was going to be like, super religious. Like, I'm going to have to wake up and just, that was my mindset. And I was like, oh, like, I don't. But then I got here, and the first morning I met two other girls that are from Colombia. They were born in Colombia. One of them
Mhm.
was actually born in my city. And I just immediately just like had this like encounter. I was just like, oh my God, like, this is so great. Like, I'm able to feel at home, like. And I also interacted with with everyone else very well. Like, it wasn't like so like how I thought it would be, kind of like cult like.
Yeah,
That's what I
yeah,
thought.
yeah. A lot of people think
How a lot of
about.
people
Yeah, I
think.
know. Unfortunately.
But actually before this, my other aunt from my stepmom's side was like, like, I told her where I was going, and she was like, I've read a lot of comments, and I don't know if you should go there. I'm like, oh, don't even tell me. I haven't read anything. I don't want to know. And so it was very funny that now that I get here and I'm like, oh, people like, I bet there's some experience, but my personal experience has been great. I feel like I've gotten the point of what it is to have a relationship with God.
Mm.
Here they give you all the tools to get to that part. They don't force you to do anything. They don't tell you like step by step. They just tell you do this, and you will see how God will start working in your life.
Mm.
And so, yeah, I did see it from the beginning that I was going to feel comfortable here. I felt at home. Even though that I wasn't able to understand it at first, I felt the presence of God here. And it was just amazing to be able to feel that, because I did grow up kind of going to church with my aunt, but I came here and I fell off. It was kind of an on and off thing, and so I didn't know much, and I wasn't close to God before I came here. I actually didn't even like going to church. I didn't like knowing anything about God because I was angry at him. But I came here, and it's just the relationship that I've created with him and that I continue to have with him. It just continues to grow every single day. And I'm just very thankful for the tools that you guys kind of like set up for us to just make a choice of, do we want to take it? Do we want to follow what they're telling us? Like, this is what you will need. And as long as you're willing and you just like let God work in your life, like he will. And I've seen it.
So good.
I've seen it.
I love it. That's why we're here. And then now the reason we're here is to give you guys the opportunity to hear God and walk in your faith and experience him in a different way, which is not like totally opposite than religion.
Yeah.
Is to you experience him in a different way. And I feel so good that you are enjoying going through the season, getting ready to leave and put in practice everything in Brazil, which I think is going to be amazing. This is, after 21 years in missions, this is the first time we're sending a team to Brazil.
So cool.
And so it's like a privilege to us that you guys will be the first one to be sent to my country to bless our people. So I want to thank you so much for just listening to those things and encouraging people. Guys, if you are home, and if you are in the same kind of like place where Manuela was, kind of like, you do have a car, you have a job, and you feel like everything's okay, but your life, the meaning of the purpose, destiny, what God wants from you. Why am I born? Now, what is all of this? And you want to take the step. We offer a discipleship training school every September, every year. And it's a 5 months training, 3 months lecture phase, 2 months, outreach. And I want to challenge you to pray about it. Come to our website, go there, and we can put some link in the description you can look for. But I want to encourage you to take this challenge. It's 5 months that you take to listen to God, and it's 24/7. You're gonna sleep with God, and you're gonna wake up with Him, and you're gonna eat with Him. You're gonna walk with Him. You're gonna study with Him. You're gonna spend time. So it's the idea of the program is to have you deal with yourself, relationship with yourself, your relationship with others, and your relationship with God. So what we can do is just to give you space to deal with things. And I know everybody comes from a different background, a different, situation, circumstances. But the idea is not to make everybody the same. Is at the end of the DTS that you have your relationship with God, the foundation's done, and the other person, everyone is in a different level. So we want to respect that and honor that, because we know God work in people's lives in a different way, and we can observe that. So it's a privilege to have you. Thank you so much for saying yes and coming to our location, and even being here. I think is a joy. I told you before, I think you were cool, but I think it's something that God put in you. You are the person that you are, like the friendship, and you attract. That's something in you that draws people. Is because God wants to use that, for His glory, and is your the way you are. It's just like the way you are. That's how God made you, and I think is the beauty of it is that you are yourself. Even sometimes you are sharp, but we need that. We need people that are sharp, they're real and strong, because that's how I see God in you, being honest and true, and not being around and fake and pretend. I like that. I like that you are strong. So thank you so much for saying yes to the Lord.
Thank you.
Yeah. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe and share this content. If you were encouraged by Manuela today, so if you know somebody that are kind of like thinking what to do in their lives, please encourage them to take some time and come to a DTS. Again, we are every September. We have our schools happening here in Virginia Beach, and you can check out more in our website and any social media on Instagram or Facebook. You can find those details as well. Thank you so much for being with us. God bless you.